Knowing that you guys are getting Desmond Ridder instead of Taylor Heineke on Sunday, how does the preparation change at all, knowing the two different styles of quarterback?
Uh, a little bit different styles, but kind of if you look at the tape, they've been asked to do the same things. Both of them can extend plays with their legs. Both of them are smart players. Both of them are rhythm players. Keep the offense on track. And so it's definitely going to be a good challenge for us. We know that Ritter can run pretty well, and so I think that's the challenge of being able to week stop these quarterbacks who can extend plays with their legs.
Do you feel like you guys were able to maybe address that this week on the bye week and take a closer look at that, why you guys haven't been able to stop mobile quarterbacks?
I think at the end of the day, you're just trying to find a way to limit the offenses. Schematically, offenses are finding ways to create one-on-one matchups. They do a good job of, rolling their quarterbacks out. It's not always just, zone reads or quarterback runs. And so you got to find ways to limit them. I think getting off the field early in the game helps. I think creating third and long situations help. And then taking the ball away, makes them a little more hesitancy. And, week to week is different. And I know at this time of year it's about playing your best football, and that's what we got to find a way to do.
How do you feel like your run defense is doing against running backs? Like teams like Atlanta that you're probably going to see 20-plus running back touches from this team. What do you think is the state of your run defense against that this year?
I think we've done a really good job as far as our run defense, other than the quarterbacks. And I think that's just the type of game that you play now. You can have a really good game defensively, but it doesn't look like that statistically because you gave up, 3 or 4 explosive plays. Just because offenses can do a good job of creating a one-on-one matchup or getting a guy eyes in the wrong place, and they make a big play, and it hurts your whole defense. And I think that's a lot what's happened with us as far as the run game is doing great against running backs, but allowing quarterbacks to be able to scramble in, and we got to find a way to get it fixed. But I think that's the level of focus that it requires in this game. It just requires a great level of detail and knowing your assignment and being able to do your job at a high level.
How are you guys looking at this string of slow starts? Because it's obviously not something you guys have dealt with a lot in the past, and then after it happens a couple of times, is there a moment when it became kind of eye-opening, like we need to identify what's leading to this?
No, I think it's easy to create a narrative. Every game is different, and you got to take the game one by one and play the game that's in front of you. If coincidentally it seems as that's what's going on, some of the games are starting slow, or that's become a thematic. It can become a narrative, but it's a different set of circumstances, different plays. I think you just find a way to be consistent at doing the right thing, and that's what we're trying to focus on.
Do you think it's unfair to them to classify it as like a slow start issue then? Like kind of.
I mean, you can classify however you want to classify it. I just think
I'm just asking, like you guys don't view it that way, is what you're saying.
I personally don't. I've never been a narrative person. I think a narrative can be created out of anything, and it makes a better story to tell. And I think some of the information can be coincidental, but every game is different, and it's a different set of plays, it's different players, and so if you were to have, in week 1 you start slow, in week 5 you start slow, in week 9 you start slow, it wouldn't be a theme of you had slow starts. But you had multiple games with slow starts. But if they're back-to-back, the story is, oh, you're starting slow. And so that's just an example of how narratives can be what's talked about. But I think you're trying to find a way to play your best football. And as long as you're not playing your best football, like we're not stopping runs the way we want to, we're not getting off, being efficient in the red zone the way we want to. And one game you can do it, and one game you cannot do it. And you're just trying to figure out how to fix that. And I think that's how you find success, is by finding the areas that you're not being as successful in and working on them to make them your strengths. And then if something else happens, do that same process over again. And I think so you have to isolate the issue and just focus where you need to focus.
You guys are technically in the driver's seat. What do you kind of just make of the opportunity you have, especially in this one coming up, that if you guys win, you'll be 2 games up in the division?
I mean, it's the next game, and it's important at this time of year. Anybody who's had, playoff experience or been on a contending team know that every game matters. Every game matters this time of year for everybody. And that's our mentality. We know that's going to be their mentality coming in, and so it's going to be a dogfight. And when we get inside those lines, we're going to come out on top.
Obviously, you don't play against Ryan or Caden, but is it going to be kind of cool to kind of catch up with those guys?
After the game, yeah. I mean, every team that you play, you got guys that you know that you play with on the other side. Could be coaches, could be players. That's the camaraderie of this league. That's the kind of fraternity that exists and why it's such a great game and brotherhood. Being in this game 12 years, you got friends, and some guys feel like family on the other sidelines every game. And so that's just another